Here's your gameplay footage so it'll fit in with all the other billion Leafy clones that infest this genre. And I do mean infest, because the commentary community is full of parasites. Alright, time to get into the nitty-gritty here. Full disclaimer, I hate the commentary community. While there's some creators I'm fond of, and even some I'm friends with, the vast majority of them run the gamut between terminally online stupidity and full-fledged adults I wouldn't even trust to draw a bath, much less give criticism of other unstable people. A community more likely to get up in arms over a meltdown on Twitter than they would a child abuser. Unless, of course, one of their friends does something dumb, in which case it's suddenly about nuance and excuses. You all know people like this. That being said, it takes a lot for me to peek my head out of my cat's lair of talking about cartoons, toys, and comics to address this shambling lich of a community. Usually, it's someone doing something grossly immoral, and that's what's happened this time. Content warning, I'm not going to be nice here. I'm going to say, imply, and outright state very mean things. If you cry about it in the comments, I will mock you. If you try to claim it somehow makes me just as bad as the main clown I'm talking about, despite the fact that it's not comparable with his actions, I will mock you more. And after I've gotten my entertainment from you, I'm going to remove your comment, and you'll have to go cry in someone else's sandbox. You want to engage in an actual argument? Link is in the description for the Senate Discord server, where you can come in and get super mad that my take isn't soft enough for your liking. We will engage you, and we will not censor you. That understood? Have the pussies left yet? Too bad, we're doing it live! So what has happened to make some old boomer that wants to talk about 80s cartoon get his choking hands ready? Well, that takes some context first. A year ago, there was some drama regarding a content creator named Hopeless Peaches, a young female Sonic enthusiast that had an entire cavalcade of clownish cretins hop out of the woodworks to paint her as the worst of people. What did Peaches do to seemingly deserve this? Did she kill somebody? Did she diddle a kid? Did she commit tax evasion? No, and here's where the content warning comes in for my fellow boomers that make up the majority of my viewership. I'm asking you to mentally prepare for the stupidity, because most of us have jobs, families, and bills to worry about, and I don't want you to have an aneurysm over this when you realize how dumb it is. Here's what she did. She corrected one portion of grammar in a script criticizing an acquaintance, allegedly was a bad friend in some cases, and talked about her mental health issues on Twitter. Yeah. You feel that headache coming on? That's your brain trying to understand how soft someone's life must be in order to think these things are worth losing your minds over and trying to ruin someone's life. And for those of you who are going to try to say this isn't an attempt at life ruining, shove it. I'm not here to listen to your apology on your own stupidity. Video after video came out accusing this woman of these terrible crimes, and two of the worst were creators known as Creepshow Art and Prison Mate Luke. The former is long gone, due to be outed as an actual snake, as well as stalking someone they knew since they were a teenager. Not going to talk about her today. No, today we're talking about Prison Mate Luke. Why? Because after being destroyed by other content creators when a few of the bigger names finally took the time to look at the Peaches stuff and say, hey, wait, this doesn't make any sense, and started calling him out, he bailed for around a year. At least until last night, where he puts out a video with no effort or editing claiming it's an apology. How good was this apology? Well, on a scale from 10 to invade Russia during winter, let's say it's getting frostbite and picked off by bears. In this video, Luke goes on to apologize to someone he's already apologized to.
And I dragged a lot of things on, especially with Harley, way too long.
And talk about some video he's unlisting due to being aligned with Creepshow Art, the stalker mentioned earlier. Notice that I didn't mention something? Yeah, the person not mentioned was the person he damaged the most. Not good enough. Full stop. Luke, you said nonsense like this.
Maybe if she didn't constantly bring up her mental health and then never follow through with anything, I would be more inclined to believe when her mental health is acting up. Maybe if she didn't constantly bring up her mental health and then never follow through with anything, and then never follow through with anything, and then never follow through with anything,
He states in 2038 that Peaches tried to bait the ending of her own life
and then never follow through with anything.
On top of that, you don't get to play the game where you pretend your actions weren't yours. When you were caught with other commentary clowns mocking Peaches' ideations, the tweet with the image is gone, but the person that posted it, Kai, another Peaches harasser, deleted it like a pussy. And mysteriously, the video where you said the worst things about Peaches is still there. You're not sorry you did something wrong, you're sorry you got caught, you worthless piece of garbage. I don't know what half-wit created you and flung you into the universe, but they owe us an apology too. Peaches didn't deserve any of this. She didn't deserve the harassment, she didn't deserve the bandwagoning, and she certainly didn't deserve to be hounded currently by her so-called friends, stating that she should just forgive him and that his non-apology should be enough. She's already having a hard enough time due to her living situations. There's a link for her GoFundMe in the description. Please help her if you can. But that's one of the worst parts. The sheer amount of people that thinks this apology is good. So let me be clear here, and I do not apologize for this. Any of you that thinks this apology is good is an idiot, a stark raving madman, a mentally stunted half-wit. Either that, or you're a coward. Neither of which is a good thing. To demonstrate this, let me bring up a tweet of Harley TBS. This is honestly a good video. It's only here for him to acknowledge fault, and I totally respect that. Credit to him for owning up. And as you can see here, if you pause and read, it got an appropriate reaction from Hopeless Peaches. Look, Harley, I'm going to cut you a little bit of slack because you're a kid. Just a little bit. Because you're also a kid that called another kid weak for apologizing after getting doxxed and harassed for making cringe Minecraft videos. Let's be honest here, Harley, your channel isn't a coffee channel. I know you try to say that to differentiate yourself from tea channels, but coffee is what adults use to get up and get work done. You want to be a coffee channel? Get some actual consistent moral values and stick to them. I feel this acceptance of garbage comes from a fear of conflict. You are a content creator, and within 7 weeks you're gonna be an adult. Get used to conflict and properly dealing with it. Being a complete pussy and accepting non-apologies is not it. You might be a kid, but you know better. And yes, I know other people in the commentary community have also stated this opinion. You're all idiots too. Weak, moronic idiots, especially if you're an adult. And it doesn't matter if this mentally stunted opinion is stated publicly or privately. Is this another PR situation? Are we gonna get another video from Spockter trying to tone police us because people shouldn't be mean online? Spare me. If you're gonna drag someone through the mud, either make sure you know what's going on or have the integrity to properly apologize. Because this isn't it. And anyone that says it is can't be trusted to fold their own laundry, much less have a wider audience. I already made my stance very clear in my talk with Junkie that you have an obligation to be honest with your audience and to not deceive them. You also have an obligation to your audience to not be an absolute clown and accept weakness and nonsense as though it has substance. Believe it or not, despite the lie polite society spouts, sometimes telling someone to cram their disingenuous apology down their own craw is the correct response. For the audience of his that's tripping over themselves to accept an apology that was not theirs to begin with, go do your homework, you literal children. The main person that was owed an apology was Peaches. And fun fact, she can say the apology was garbage and choose not to forgive him. If that upsets you, then it's likely your parents played hacky sack with you when you were a fetus. And as for Luke, I'd say you have 3 paths here. 1. Stay gone. Completely. 2. Give a genuine apology if you're even capable of it. I'm going to hint at the last one at the very end of this video before me, the old boomer, goes back to talking about the stuff he wants to talk about. But before I do, remember the purpose of this ancient tradition, and that if you complain, your attempts at moralizing to me will be mocked.